Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in with Enchantress the Babbler on our revolutionary rise of a high that is happening now at this moment in time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to jump right in because I am on a time limit spin. So welcome here. This is going to be we're going to be talking about Mars in Libra. Okay, those type of energies, and then just whatever else comes up. And so more to be. That's it. So more to be. C'est la vie. That's what's happening here, right? So Mars and Libra are like bringing, what's the words we can say? What are you doing, you crazy cat? So Eden's on the loose, on the prowl here. What are you doing? Oh my goodness. Hold on. I don't want to see if she's gonna make it. I'm curiously wanting to know if she's gonna. Hey, be nice. Okay. Be nice. Okay. What's going? Hey. Okay, calm down, everybody. All right. So that's how it's gonna be. Like, it's gonna be temperamental. It's gonna be moody, right? With Mars and Libra, right? Because you got right. So Mars in Libra is gonna be from August 27th to October 12th, right? So whatever the case may be, take this like a grain of salt. Like I said, everything is conditioned into our reality. Apply it in whichever way is going to be applied and measured in the way that it works for you and stuff like that. But either way, right? Mars is the planet of action, sex, and energy, right? And so now that's going to be in the sign, which is a cardinal sign, right? Which is Libra, right? And Libra is it's all about the intelligence of certain kind of things, right? Especially when it comes to critiquing, right? Because it's the sign of the scales, right? Libra the scales. So in terms of critiquing certain kind of matters and things like that, this is now going to add an interesting temperament because Libra, as we know, they're pretty saucy. Who got the sauce? Who got the sauce? They got the sauce. Libra got the sauce. You know what I mean? Because Libra it could be salty, could be sweet, but whatever it is, they're definitely conveying their expressions and how they feel, right? They're gonna get across their point across. Who got the sauce? Libra got the sauce, right? So this Mars and Libra, right? Um, it's all about like protecting our hearts from disappointment, right? And um we got the second air sign of the zodiac right here playing its role, right? With wisdom, the scales, the seeds that we sow, right? Because swords pick up usually to fight, right? It's a mental battle, like, but it's like we're trying to put down the knives, right? So it's like our armors, our shields can be up. This is safeguarding, right? But instead of picking up the swords to fight this time, Mars aspect in Leo, right? We're balancing out. We're finding the harmony in these temperamental, moody swings, like these moody swings, these moody swings, right? Because it's because Libra is always going to want to weigh out everything, right? So if Libra always wants to weigh out everything, it's because they're considering things from a fair perspective. They want to be fair. If there's anything that Libra, the sign, wants, like in astrology, what it wants is fairness, right? Justice, right? So and also knowing when and how to compromise, right? It's essential. It's essential in order for all interests and needs and things to be met, right? On so whatever. So it's about negotiation and things like that. And so that's gonna be temperamental because this is a trigger for everybody, especially in relationships, right? Because nobody wants to walk away, right? Not feeling heard, not feeling validated. Everybody wants to feel like they got something out of this, right? Like especially being heard and shit like that, right? So this combination, right? It's giving in, right? It's giving your all. It's not necessarily giving in, it's giving your all, right? Right, for Libra, fighting for justice, for the injustice of any kind, right? And so yeah, so what is an injustice, right? That's how we can think about it, right? What injustice, hold on, what injustice, right? I'm just writing. What injustice, what injustices in the realms of your heart, right, that have been like unheard, right? What injustices in the realms of your heart are that you hold near and dear to your heart, especially, that need to be made fair. Heart that need to be made fair, right? So, right? So Mars, certain when it pairs up with certain astrological signs, something happens. Like certain signs and their parents can exalt something, certain signs can halt something, right? So debilitate. So that's what Libra does. Libra debilitates Mars, right? So right, because they're like opposites in this kind of way. Wait, are they opposites? Mars, because Mars, Aries and Libra. Aries would be with Libra, right? Aries, Mars, wait, right? Because it's Gemini, right? Because it's Gemini and Sag, right? And then it's Leo and Aquarius. Yeah, so it's Aries and Libra, which are polar opposites, right? So these are polar opposites. I'm sorry, like I'm just like, whatever. It's just, this is real time. Um, so so right, because Libra, like when you think about it from a leisurely perspective, they don't want to put much effort into certain kind of matters, right? Aries likes to take action. It's the action planet, right? I mean, Aries, Mars. Mars is the action. Why is this doing this? Mars is the action planet, right? So it's not right. So in this particular placement, it's not competitive nor aggressive, right? And so as a result, that can hold you back from um obtain like doing certain kind of goals and achieving certain kind of things, right? Because nobody's making moves, right? Because there's too much thinking. It's like chess over here, right? So yeah, so and then there could be roundabout ways, because then Aries starts to get slick in its ways, but Mars starts to get slick in its ways, where it can be sneaky or something, or avoidance, right? So you want to avoid avoidance, right? So avoid avoidance, because that's not going to solve anything, right? So avoid avoidance, right? Do not do something. Do not do something, like inaction, right? Do not do something, right? Because you don't want to get involved with a certain kind of dramatic conflict or something like that, right? So yes, because it's all about encompassing a certain level of fairness, right? So yeah, so like yeah, so it's supposed to, like, this is meant to be like a jovial kind of time, like, more more where it's learning to find within these temperaments, right? Learning to find within these temperaments, right? Certain levelings of whatever, but it's unpredictable at this time. So this is the one card that came out, and it was because I was shuffling and stuff like that, and it flipped. So I just kept it and stuff like that, right? So that, and it's Wolverine. It's funny because we call Eden, I call her anyway, it's Eden Wolverine, right? She's like all black, and then all you see is her claws come out all the time. Like that's how she plays, well, freaking claws in every kind of way. But look at Wolverine, right? You could be life path number 2. You don't have to be. Your name can have an A in it. First name, last name, whatever, middle name, or something like that. Or you can live in an A state, right? Or a city, right? That starts with the letter A, obviously, and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. Um, but Wolverine, right? So unpredictable. So this could be making this Mars energy, right? Because it's a wild card. It's power struggles, right? It's assertive, it's possessive, it's determined, it's elusive, it's renegade, it's fearless, right? But it's all about bringing these extremes, right? So bringing this extreme. So it's like, right? So it's like a gentle, like a flogging, right? Right? It's a gentle flogging. That's funny. That is really funny, right? So that's like a gentle flogging. Um, 10 of Earth. That's not so 10 of Earth, 10 of Junk, 10 of Pentacles, right? Here, right? So especially in right? So even too, like just think about the fun and the aspect of it, right? Because so Aries and Libra, like they have fun together, right? I mean, but why do I keep saying Aries, but it's Mars? But I don't know, but I just keep saying Aries, right? So it's about making certain kind of things fun, avoiding certain kind of things, avoiding intensity with certain kind of things, right? Living, because Libra likes to live in peace, right? So peace and harmony, right? So and they don't want nothing to come between that leveling of harmony and tranquility, right? So the ability to be able to like take a step back, right, and pause before reacting. This is a good lesson to instill, right, to invoke, to participate in, and to lend off on, right? Because it's about learning to choose your words, your actions wisely anyways, right? So it's bringing these balances, right? So it's about give and take, right? Especially in regards to lovemaking and connections and in love, right? Libra loves love, right? Aries loves it too. See, I keep saying Aries, but it's Mars, right? But the passion, the lust, the intensity of that, right? And so this is an important time addressing sexual satisfaction, right? And feeling fulfilled in certain kind of areas, right? Right. So like how many orgasms is my partner having, right? On account of the leveling of intensity that we experience in the bedroom together. Like how fulfilled is my partner? How fulfilled am I, right? And then also, what can we add into these dynamics, into this? And then two, for those that are a little bit abstinent and stuff like that, how can I add to the dynamic of pleasure in my own life? Because I am deserving of these levelings of pleasure. How can I get to know thyself best? You know what I mean? So, or also working on your own divine feminine, divine masculine energy and bringing out that sexual side to you that is okay to be expressive and stuff like that. So role playing or reading erotica, this will be a good time for that, like engaging in certain kind of, like, I'm not saying all pornographic and all this kind of stuff, or in engaging in your own eroticism, sexual orientation, learning yourself best. Like this is the greatest opportunity to connect, if you're not with a partner, but to connect with yourself so that you could be the most healthiest, wealthiest, stealthiest of partners when that time comes for you, right? It doesn't have to be extreme. It doesn't have to be extreme, but it can be fun. It can be flirty, right? Setting the mood is important, especially with the sign of Libra, right? So setting the mood is important, right? So being focused on certain kind of levelings of aesthetics, right? Feeling good, right? When you look good, you feel good, right? When you take care of yourself, you feel your best, right? So foreplay is important during these times, right? So there could be a lot of intense engagement with foreplay, right? So creating that type of leveling, if that's what you want for you too, to intensify, especially for partnerships and stuff like that, to find count partnerships and intimacy and growing in levelings of intimacy, right? Um, Creating that romantic ambiance and stuff like that, like to ooh la la, like to wearing lingerie, or if that's too taboo for you, like I don't want to wear lingerie, get naked, you know what I mean? Strip your partner. You know what I mean? Like, but getting excited to want to touch, to play, or playing with the senses and stuff like that. And engaging with the senses, like, putting on a blindfold. What is this here? Writing something on your partner's back, ice skating or things like that, or just pleasure, like licking your partner's lips, having, doing certain kind of things together, kissing each other, making out, like, or, whatever the case may be, or building up on this energy of manifestation too. If you want to manifest the type of ideal partner for you that is going to be healthy, wealthy, stealthy, because you are ready in your life, what does that look like for you? What does that taste like for you? What is the background? What is the ambiance? What kind of ambiance are you creating? What type of setting are you creating for yourself to bring that for yourself into your life? How do you welcome that in and stuff like that? So it's like the foreplay is in, the foreplay is on, right? So getting into your own foreplay, your song, getting into these levelings of intimacy for yourself, right? And it's going to be wild and unpredictable too, right? So a lot of bedroom play for partners too at this time could be a lot of fun. So don't get lost into any kind of arguments at this time. Keep it lighthearted and fun, right? Have fun with each other. You know what I mean? Explore more. Yeah, so night of junk, right? So night of earth. So for some too, right? Because this is earth, right? Night of earth. So something's taken such a long time, and there might have been a lot of like, look at this is like rocks coming down or something too, right? And this is just like, okay, like, you know what I mean? So you got to get through a lot of obstacles too. So there's a lot of obstacles to get through and stuff like that as well. And it's just like, okay, like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, all right, whatever. So that could be what makes one like temperamental and moody. I just want to read it from the book and stuff like that here, because when they talk different kind of junk, I know it's earth, but still like when they change the names and stuff like that, like I just like to read it from the book. Wait, so hold on. Let me find the page. Let me find the page. Let me find the page. Right. So hardworking, helpful, right? And dependable. The Knight of Junk is always there when you need them, just like Ludo's rock. So this tarot card advises you to work diligently and pay attention to the details. Others are counting on you. Stay on top of your responsibilities and you'll be rewarded for your efforts, right? And especially with like this Librian energy, right? So even though things could be temperamental and moody, right, due to the alignment with the South Node destiny here, right? The presence of Pluto too. Oh, and the Centaur, Chiron, right? Are also retrograding, right? But what that does is it gives us the chance, right, to work on healing old wounds and traumas with the intention of becoming better versions of ourselves. And that's what, like, these versions of working on ourselves, right? Like helpful, dependable, like you're staying on top of your responsibilities, you're staying on top of that what you have to do, and you're going to be rewarded for these efforts, right? So this is like, right, so with these important astrological aspects that are occurring, right? Mars enters Libra, right? And this is giving us a loftier and more complex view of how to fight for ourselves, right? And it's being responsible, accountable for these type of things and stuff like that, right? And so now when Mars opposes the Centaur Chiron, right? And this is going to be happening like in September, right? Who's going to be retrograding. All right, so Mars is going to be in Libra. It opposes the Centaur Chiron, right, whom is retrograding in Aries, right? So it's helping us to heal the past and mend our hearts at the same time, right? So then we have that Mars aligned too, right, with the South Node in Libra, exhausting our energy levels and making us over emotional. So that could be too. This is in October's kind of field, right? This is before October 12th, when Mars leaves Libra and stuff like that. So then it's going to be squaring, right? Pluto, which is retrograde in Capricorn, right? Pushing us to lean into our power, right? Pushing us to lean into our power. So we're working, right? And look, it doesn't mean that there isn't obstacles in our way, right? We're leaning into our power. So when Mars exits Libra and moves into Scorpio, learning how to keep peace is going to be essential to that next transition, right? Because the transit supports peaceful resolutions, right, to problems that can arise, right? So feeling more diplomatic, right, and inclined to seek compromises versus launching out all full-blown wars, right? Especially when faced with conflict, right? Like instead of going to war, finding your peace, right? So and Libra is this is where we're learning, like this is the passageway to learn this, to find this balancing act. This is why I wanted to talk about Mars and Libra, because I find that as like even like let's say for someone like myself, like fiery and combative as can be in certain kind of areas and arenas, is finding the peace in that, right? Because right, because Mars enters and it's Libra, and it's all about our relationships, our desires, and finding the temperamental balance, and that comes from fulfillment. So let's say you're looking for peace and all this kind of stuff, but you don't have emotional fulfillment, you don't have sexual fulfillment, you don't have intimate fulfillment and all this kind of stuff, that leads to an energy war. And so here you are working on some more, right? So it's giving us the opportunity to learn more, right, about ourselves through these obstacles, right? um and our desires, right, through, because it's contrasting, right? And so it's allowing us to find that compromise with others as well, right? So yeah, so this is it's it's interesting. It's an interesting time, right? It's an interesting time, right? So right, and so it's unpredictable, it's wild. And so, right, you're ready for more, because you're ready for more. Your career is growing and blossoming. Now is the time to make the changes you have been contemplating, right? So it's continuing with your responsibilities, that what you are doing, finding, look, it's a 10 of junk here. So that's like here. I saw this twice. So I think this is, oh, this is 10 of pots. This is emotional fulfillment, because I think 10 of pots is water. Hold on. 10 of pots represents personal satisfaction and fulfillment. You're feeling supported by loved ones and content with life. Nurture your connections with those who are most important to you by letting them know how much they mean to you, right? So if there's anything, like if you have any relationships that are feeling out of balance, right, or your goals need to be changed or improvised or relooked at, right? Especially in your relationships, has certain have you drifted apart, or like look beneath the surface of every situation, right, to figure out what's really at the heart of any kind of disconnection. But for those of you that are feeling support and stuff like that, this is the energies that are happening around, and it's just a wonderful time and opportunity to invest more energy into optimizing our own routines, our own patterns, our own work, our health, and our daily habits and things like that, especially even in our relationships, because we're supported, we feel loved, we feel supported, right? And so right, so when Mars was in Virgo, it had invited us to focus on problem solving, certain kind of things, right? And right now we're in the energy of Virgo too, right? But still, and optimizing how we approach our daily stuff, right? And things like that. So it boosted our efficiency, right? And our productivity, motivating us to maximize and utilize our potential and add more precision and attention to the details in our lives and things like that, right? So when it moves through Libra and shit like that, it's a different leveling of motivation by a desire for justice, for ourselves, right? A fairness towards ourselves, a harmony for ourselves. And so we're going to be drawn to take this leveling of action to implement more balance in our lives, these departments, right? So investing more of our energy into our relationships and having all these wonderful opportunities to get clear about what it is that we desire, especially when it comes to our connection with others, right? So yeah, so yeah, I like that, right? So Libra is yang energy, right? Yang, air energy. It's a cardinal sign, right? It's a cardinal archetype. It's a cardinal archetype, right? So so it's the first sign, right, that which we initiate. So I can't even, these are, I haven't really used these. Honestly, so they're not like broken into, so they're a little rough, and then with this cut on my finger, it's just like whatever, right? So, but right, so it initiates, right, relationships based on equality, right, on equality, right? This sign, right, Libra symbolizes, right, the journey of finding a certain level of harmony. Sorry, there's noise in the background. Between our needs, our values, our desires, right? And other people's values, needs, and desires, right? So Libra teaches us this balance, right? Libra teaches us this balance, right? Even through these obstacles, this balance, right? Um, right? Creating this dynamic flow, right? And knowing, right, that we always have to attune to it, right? We have to attune, we have to refine, we have to invest in ourselves, right? So we have to learn about ourselves, we have to learn more about our desires, and so we have a chance to practice this harmonizing act, right? To cultivate this certain level of interdependence, independence, right, with our desire to be in a connection too, right? So it's like this compromise act, right? And to practice not losing touch, right, with our desires and needs while we consider those of other people as well. Hold on, I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah. I forgot. I'm so sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. Okay. So where was I? Okay, okay. So I'm sorry. Okay, forgive me there. But wait, so where was I? Sorry. Right. So I just think like, so you see how here, like this pots, right? You see the pots, and then you see this knight of junk, right? Going through obstacles, certain kind of challenges here on Earth and things like that. And I just think about, so when we talk about the sign of Libra and we could talk about Mars, right? They say that Mars is debilitated in the sign of Libra and stuff like that. But when we really look at it from the perspective like wisdom, like it's just like how what is here, what opportunity do I have here to learn from this type of stuff? So while you're working on this unification, this transition of unification, of harmony, balance, and within yourself, obviously, and then with another, like in a partnership, a relationship, a divine partnering of some course, or just people you have to work with. This doesn't have to just be an intimate relationship. It could be people that you closely associate with, that you have to work with, and things like that, right? So it's just like, because Mars is essentially all about like war, and Libra instead is about peace. This, through this upcoming time, like these weeks and things like that, that Mars is in Libra, we have this opportunity, right, to really learn more about the purpose of certain kind of conflicts that might come up, and these levelings of confrontations, and how refined we can be in approaching them, how graceful can we be, how peaceful can we be, right? So we have the chance to notice if we feel tempted, right, to fight or flight, sugarcoat or be real, right? Choose to be polite over being real, right? Or like, not share your truth, like, to keep the peace and be accepted by others. You get to see these different forms of reality of like, when you get to like, am I dimming my light just because these mofos don't feel good in my presence? Like, am I doing this to myself? Like, because the justice that's coming in, and the justice that wants to come in, and the justice that's here to be here for you, is to give that justice for you, that respect for you, that validation for you, that respect for you, that harmony for you, that peace for you, that emotional fulfillment for you. How you gonna win if you ain't right within? How you gonna win if you ain't right within, right? Come again, right? That type of shit, type of stuff, right? So it's like, right? It's not about being abrasive. But it's about not being inauthentic either. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, so it's finding the balancing act, right? To clear that way. And I feel like that this is a good depiction, right? As you're filling your pots, right? As you're cooking your batch, and you're working through hard, steady too, right? The revelation comes to you, the wisdom too, right? And it's just like, okay, sorry, I gotta stretch my legs. I gotta stretch my legs. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, so you have this opportunity, right? To really, really, really align, right? And it kind of like, too, like when Mars is in Libra too, and it squares with Pluto, which is retrograde in Capricorn, right? That leveling of alignment too is gonna highlight friction, right? Friction between conscious desires, right, that are coming up and battling out from our egocentric will, right? And our unconsciousness truth, right? You need me? Hold on. Anyway, right? So any kind of friction between our conscious desires, right? Coming from our egocentric will and our unconscious, right? True desires stemming from our soul, like any kind of these things squaring, right? Mars and Pluto, right? This is the key evolutionary moment of these transitions that we need to learn to let go of our egoic attachments to certain kind of things, right? Certain kind of outcomes, goals, in order to be able to move forward, right? So the tension that we can energetically feel inside, we can use it as a motivating factor, right? To reflect and really find a surge in our own libido, in our own rise, in our own phoenix rise out of the ashes type of thing, right? Our determination, our willpower, right? And our willingness. And that's what's going to be most important, is how willing are you to do what it takes to get what you want? How willing are you to do what it takes to get what you want? Ooh, how willing are you to do what it takes to get what you want? How willing are you? How willing are you to do what it takes to get what you want? Sometimes you gotta do what you've never done to get what it is you never had, right? That type of shit too, right? And so yeah, any kind of inauthentic harmony or things that you find that are gonna come up and stuff like that, this is your opportunity to clear that. Clear that. And then I'm looking at the bottom of the deck, the King of Poles here. Poles, I think that's wands, right? Fire energy, right? Fire energy. Fire energy. And so you got this fire, right? This fire. here. I believe this is fire energy. Poles. I mean, what else is it? The pole. King of Poles is a wise, creative, unifying leader, right? Like Rome Baba, the prime minister of the goblins, who can be heard asking, "Did she say it?" at the beginning of the movie. Focused with and talented, the king is an experienced visionary with a knack for inspiring others to band together in pursuit of a common goal. Right? So I love that, right? So we have this opportunity to really practice, right, being more diplomatic when we assert ourselves and to explore ways to honor ourselves and our desires, right? While also being aware of those of others, right? So it's really working in unity, right, within our community, right? So it's offering us this invitation to reflect, right? To reflect upon what it is worth fighting for too, in our intuition, in our subconscious, our fantasy, our romance, our psyche, our affection, right? Recognition, invitation, the sensuality, artistic, this is divine feminine energy. You could be 32 years old, you could be 23 years old, you could be 38 years old, you could be 28 years old, you could be born 1982, 1983, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, you could be 22, you could be life path number 4. You don't have to be. You could have been born 80 as well, right? So yeah. So what is worth fighting for? That's another good question. What is worth fighting for? Right? What is worth fighting for? Right? What is worth fighting for? What is worth fighting for? Right? What is worth fighting for? Right? Memories, remembering, crow, be 22, right? A, there goes this A again. So A, that could be 2 in your name, like A, like your first name could start with the A and your last name could start with the A, or your middle name or something like that too. You can live in an A state, A city, like I said. AA, you could be in AA, recovering from something as well. 2020, right? 2020 vision, like seeing clearly, you can see clearly now, right? The Milky Way, networking, marketing, internet, fame, expand, spotlight. So social media, publicity, connected, exposure, right? Getting exposure, right? 2023, 2022 into 2032, right? A 10-year, right, span of success, of embarking on your leveling of success. It could have started in 2022 going into 2032, or it could have started in 2020 as well. From 2020 into 2032, this is your high rise climb, right? The decade of climb, right? Smoothing things out in order, right? To create more legacy, right? For you, restructuring, right? The renewal of your own relationships, redefining, right? So yeah, so this is powerful, right? Grounding, right? So it's grounding yourself more, right? You are the querent, a person you know, right? So 2, having a love interest, feminine energy, you could be 29 years old. There goes that A2 again. You could be 30 years old, right? Fireworks, passion, chemistry. So this is a relationship too, going away. So this could be going away in your relationship. This is the honeymoon. This is a marriage. This is some kind of a connection that's being made. 30, 32, 39, 29. Here you go, 33, right? Life path 6, right? Yeah, so here there's a love interest here too. Happiness, being accelerated a new year, by the new year being in a happy relationship, right? Explosive hot sex. Right? So yeah, so a renewal of relationships, right? This too could be catalyzed by a catalyst of this whole Venus retrograde, right? Through Leo, right? Is it still retrograding? I don't even know, but this still, right? So it's being activated, like certain kind of things are being activated at this time. I didn't even look at these. right? Here we go, right? A Sagittarius, it could be a Sagittarius, Prince of Fire. Um, within 14 to 30 days during the fall, from November 22nd to December 22nd, didn't I say by the new year, right? So ruling, right? Temperance, right? Certain kind of things. So yeah, so this is going into the new year, right? You could be a Sagittarius. Somebody can have Sagittarius in their chart, or whatever the case may be, or this could be the aspirations of that to the timing, because this is the timing card. Within 30 days, something is going down. And then we got 30 right here, right? So you got 30 days within 30 days, and you got 30. So 30, 30, right? Within 30 days, something is going down, right? Element of water. Right. So intuition, trust your intuition, healing, artistic, emotional, certain kind of look at things are fluid, right? So deep dive, romantic mystery, right? So something taking off, an aha moment, a discovery, a breakthrough, revealing, realizing, right? And line magnifying it, getting more info, clarity, very important details, right? Doing certain kind of levelings of research. It could be 26, 27, 29. You could have been born in 1993. You could have been born 1962, 1972. You could be 32, you could be 35, you could be 36. Okay. You'd be 42, 49, 39, 37, right here. So here, this just came out and this flipped over and I'm listening to it. And then I see that it's a snake too. So you could have been dealing too with a fire sign snake, right? Deception, jealousy, betrayal, backstab, toxic, right? But it's coming out of it too, right? So I want to look at that like that, right? So it's coming out of it, right? So you are the current person, you know, boyfriend, fiance. So look at that's coming up too. So there can be an engagement as well, because where was that other one? I wish my leg, I need a string in it. Oh, over here. The woman, the man, a person, right? A girlfriend, a boyfriend. It's the starting of a budding romance, right? This could be going from single to boyfriend and girlfriend, a fiance, a spouse. Like it's going to the next step, right? Masculine, feminine, the balancing act of a feminine energy too, right? All these A's. So I feel like with all these A's, it kind of reminds me of the magician card, right? Of having every single element. Hold on one second. Okay, after some time. Um, I'm done here. Okay, till next time. Bye, guys.